This is lesson 5 of BristleBots, the BristleBot. So we're going to start this lesson with a discussion about center of gravity and balance. So the first activity, you'll just need a pencil for every student. So what you want to do is you actually want to have the kids practice balancing the pencil on their hands. There's a couple ways that you can do this. The first is go ahead and put your fingers together and just draw them together slowly. And what you'll find is you'll find the balance point of this particular pencil. That's one way of going ahead and finding the center of gravity of this pencil. The other way is you can go ahead and start to try to balance it on your finger. So you go ahead and practice balancing your pencil on the end of your finger. It'll be hard, and a lot of kids will struggle with it. And if you actually have a longer dowel, it's actually a little bit easier to balance the pencil on using a longer dowel rather than the pencil. But we're going to talk about center of gravity in this particular one. And that'll lead us into our next activity, the balancing bot. So to continue our discussion about center of gravity, we're going to make a balancing bot. What you'll need is the balancing bot template, 2 pennies per student, and some tape. So to go ahead and make your balancing bot, all you got to do is take your template and cut it out. It's important to remember and tell the kids that it does not have to be perfect. And you spend a lot of time, kids will spend a lot of time trying to cut exactly out on the lines. And it doesn't have to be that way. You just want to kind of cut the rough shape out. One of the other thing that I like specifically though is I also like to make sure I cut out the paper between the legs so I actually have 2 legs as opposed to 1. Just like that. And what you'll get when you're done is you're going to get a robot that looks like this. Now, your challenge is going to be to try to balance your robot on your finger without it falling off. Now, let me just finish cutting this one out real fast here. And now we'll just cut it out quickly. You'll notice that when I'm cutting out roughly. I'm not cutting it out on all the lines. I'm not trying to trace exactly on the lines. I just want it to be a rough cut. And your goal is to go ahead and get this robot to balance on your finger. And it won't balance on your finger because the center of gravity is off. So what you do then is you can go ahead and have everyone go ahead and tape some pennies onto the arms where it's actually marked penny. And now watch what happens when we try to balance our robot on our finger. And it becomes much more centered, and you can balance it because the center of gravity, we've changed the center of gravity. Now comes the main event. We get to make our own BristleBot. For this particular activity, what you're going to need is a scrub brush. You'll need some pennies. You'll need a little Velcro. You'll need your motor. And you'll need some Google eyes. Some Google eyes. Now the assembly for your BristleBot is actually very, very simple. All you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit of Velcro and I attach it to my motor. Just like that. So now I have both pieces of Velcro on the motor. I go ahead and peel off the backing of the Velcro. Like so. And I personally like to make my BristleBot, see how there's a little hoop on the end of this one? I like to put my motor on the other end of that hoop because what happens is if I put it up here, it just sticks out and kind of gets in the way. So I prefer my hoop to be right here, like so. And then what I would do is I'd go ahead and put some eyes on my BristleBot, and we can go ahead and hook them up. And your BristleBot will move. So once you've gone ahead and played with your BristleBot, you'll notice that it doesn't move in a normal kind of predictable manner. It wants to go in a circle. It wants to go sideways. It doesn't necessarily want to go straight. And that becomes the last part of this lesson is how do you change the center of gravity to go ahead and make this guy move differently? And what you're going to do is give him a challenge where you actually have some tape on a table and have a race, basically. where you want the BristleBot to not go in a circle, you want it to go this direction. So how could you change the center of gravity to go ahead and get your BristleBot to move forward mostly instead of going in a circle? To do that, you'll go ahead and use pennies, washers, other kinds of things that you can put on your BristleBot to see if you can change the center of gravity to change the momentum and the motion of the actual BristleBot.